Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let's talk more about the biodegradation of BTEX and MTBE. As we talked about these compounds in our previous lesson, these are mostly found in gasoline, and BTEX compounds can be hard to degrade and they are toxic as well. Now, there are different types of reactions that can happen during the biodegradation. If we talk about the initial steps, mostly it is oxidation by the microbial enzymes, and it requires oxidase enzymes along with molecular oxygen and obviously energy in the form of NADH. Almost the same mechanisms which operate in the biodegradation of other molecules as well. Now, there are different types of oxidases which can perform this process, this reaction, and they can initiate this biodegradation of BTEX compounds. Now, the oxidation reaction, it usually occurs to a point where there are two adjacent hydroxyl groups to each other on the ring. ऑक्सीडेशन यहाँ तक होगी कि साथ साथ दो हाइड्रोक्सिल ग्रुप्स हों कार्बन रिंग के ऊपर. The ring is then cleaved by the addition of more oxygen either between the two carbons connected to the hydroxyl groups, which will be called as orthofission, or by the addition of oxygen at one of the two adjacent double bonds, which will be called as metafission. Depending on how the initial process taken place, the subsequent processes will follow. This results in carboxylated aliphatic compound, and this is further oxidized by usual dehydrogenation or hydroxylation reactions. So you can see here, first the compound is initially reacted upon and is converted to some other intermediates which are then easily acted upon by some other enzymes. If you talk about the degradation of toluene, there are certain steps that can happen. For example, toluene can be degraded by any of these 5 pathways, and depending on the pathway that it takes, the end products will be different. Now, BTEX compounds are mostly degraded in aerobic conditions in presence of oxygen, but these can also be degraded anaerobically under anaerobic conditions, as so many different anaerobic microbes and associated enzymatic mechanisms have been discovered and studied which can degrade these BTEX compounds. Now, many microorganisms can degrade toluene, ethyl benzene and xylenes through denitrification as well. Different types of processes can occur to degrade these BTEX compounds. Isolates that can degrade BTEX compounds under more reducing conditions are more limited. जितनी ज़्यादा reducing environment होगी उतने ज़्यादा कम microbes available होंगे जो कि BTEX को degrade कर सकें. So not every pathway is easy. Not every pathway is frequently found in nature, in the environment. So depends on the environmental conditions and the parameters that are there. उसके मुताबिक BTEX और बाकी compounds की biodegradation होगी. Now, their degradation can also happen under sulfate reducing or even methanogenic conditions as well. तो ये भी study हो चुका है, ये भी इनकी degradation इन हालात में, इन circumstances में भी होती है. Different types of organisms are known to perform these reactions, and they also happen to perform these reactions in mixed cultures as well, in the form of co-cultures as well, in the form of microbial communities as well. Even the use of ferric and manganese ions as electron acceptors has also been observed during the degradation of BTEX compounds under anaerobic conditions. So we know about anaerobic conditions कि उसमें जो है oxygen नहीं होता, so instead of oxygen some other compounds are used as electron acceptors. Now, as with other compounds as well, in anaerobic conditions, the rates of their biodegradation are slower, obviously, and they will take more time to degrade these compounds. Now, if you talk about MTBE compounds, these are basically methyl tertiary butyl ether, not naturally found in gasoline. However, in different states, for example, in California, they added these compounds in gasoline in order to reduce smoke producing emissions. Smoke produced हो रहा था emissions से from the vehicles, so they found out that if they add MTBE in gasoline, smoke जो है वो reduce हो सकती है. However, later they found out that although BTEX compounds can be biodegraded in the environment, the MTBE compounds cannot be biodegraded easily. If we talk about the biodegradation of different compounds in general, we can say that the compounds which are naturally found do have natural systems present in the environment which can degrade these compounds. However, the compounds which are not found naturally as such तो उनके लिए नेचुरल माइक्रोबियल एंजाइमेटिक सिस्टम्स भी एज सच प्रिवेल नहीं करते एनवायरनमेंट में जो उनको डिग्रेड कर सकें. सो synthetic compounds are much more hard to be degraded in the environment as compared to naturally found compounds. So they found out that BTEX compounds can be biodegraded, but MTBE compounds are much more harder to be degraded in the environment, and they do have harmful effects on the life of different organisms as well. So this finding and different studies, due to the results of different studies, they led to reversal of this decision of addition of MTBE in the gasoline, और उसका जो यूज था वो रोक दिया गया. So this was about the biodegradation of BTEX and MTBE. I will see you in next lessons.